Congratulations, and thank you for choosing the John Deere Model 637 Tandem Disc. The 637 Tandem Disc is a medium-duty disc and a very versatile tillage implement. The 637 is capable of multiple tillage jobs in both primary and secondary tillage applications in a wide variety of soil types and crop residues. This video demonstrates proven methods of operation, which will deliver the best productivity and performance from your John Deere Model 637 Tandem Disc. The program will also help familiarize operators with safe operating procedures and will review recommended maintenance tips which will contribute to long machine life. Although this video contains a considerable amount of information, the operator's manual shipped with the disc is your main resource for information. Before using the disc, take a few moments and review the entire operator's manual, particularly Section 05, which contains additional safety information. For best implement performance, the tractor must be correctly matched to the disc size. Refer to the operator's manual specifications to determine tractor horsepower requirements. Refer to the tractor operator's manual to determine the recommended ballast for high draft drawn loads. The 637 can be adjusted to accommodate most tractor drawbars with a hitch height range of 16 to 20 inches above the ground. On John Deere tractors with an offset drawbar, the offset should be placed in the down position. The drawbar on wheeled row crop tractors must always be pinned in the center position for both field operation and transport. The steering characteristics of articulated four-wheel drive and track tractors results in additional side loading on the implement hitch when turning. Allow one whole swing in both directions from center for field operation. However, always pin the hitch in the center position for safe transport. The three-point hitch must also be lifted to the highest position to prevent interference with the implement hitch. If a quick coupler is not used, secure the three-point hitch arms to prevent interference with implement hoses or the rear tires. The safety chain is properly connected when passed through the loop on the tractor drawbar, then hooked into the hitch support bar. The safety chain must be connected during transport to restrain the machine should it become unhooked from the tractor. The implement warning lights are connected to the tractor and checked for proper operation before road transport. Also, be sure the slow-moving vehicle emblem is clearly visible from the rear of the disc. Attach the hydraulic hoses on the implement to the tractor SCV ports. The disc depth control hoses should be attached to SCV1. When pushing forward on the SCV1 lever or switch, the implement should lower. Pull back on the SCV lever or switch, and the disc should raise. If the action is reversed, reverse the hoses at the SCV port. On folding discs, the hoses connected to the wing fold cylinders should be plumbed into SCV2. Push the SCV2 lever or switch forward, and the wing frames should unfold. Pull back on the SCV2 lever or switch, and the wing frames should fold. Reverse the hoses if the fold action is reversed. Hose identification kits are shipped with the disc. Install these kits onto the hoses to make future connections easier. On folding discs equipped with optional hydraulic wing control, the wing fold hoses must be connected as shown. Hydraulic wing control requires the operator to follow special operating instructions. Failure to follow these directions could make adjustment difficult and may result in damage to the disc wing fold cylinders. If you are not sure if you have this option, look for this hydraulic wing control valve and gauge located at the front of the mainframe. Also notice that the wing fold cylinders have clevises which are pinned solid to the wing frames. The grease fitting on top of the clevis also helps identify a disc with hydraulic wing control. If your folding disc has hydraulic wing control, we suggest that you stop the video and fully review operating hydraulic wing control in the Operating the Machine section of the operator's manual. The manual is your field reference. Being familiar with its contents before watching this video will increase your familiarity with the hydraulic wing control system, should questions arise during operation. Hydraulic wing control can only be used on tractors with closed center hydraulic systems, or John Deere's pressure and flow compensating systems. Use of hydraulic wing control on tractors with open center hydraulic systems may result in overheating of the hydraulic system. Watch for this flag throughout this video, where special procedures for hydraulic wing control discs are demonstrated. In addition, hydraulic wing control is covered in full detail in the last section of this video. After connecting the disc to the tractor, a series of checks and adjustments should be performed before going to the field. The Preparing the Disc checklist and Before Entering the Field guidelines in the operator's manual are complete lists of each item, with reference to specific sections of the manual for additional information. Use the manual as reference for these basic checks. We'll demonstrate several of the most important checks. The overall goal here is to initially level the disc front to rear and side to side. Select an area large enough for the tractor and disc to be setting on a hard, level surface. Perform all these initial adjustments with the tractor that will be pulling the disc in the field. If the folding disc is equipped with hydraulic wing control option, 2 additional steps are required before making adjustments. A wing fold lockup valve is located at the front of the disc and must be closed whenever the wings are folded. Open the wing fold lockup valve and unfold the disc. With the wing frames unfolded, place the tractor SCV2 lever in the float position to turn off or disengage hydraulic wing control. Hydraulic wing control should be disengaged for all mechanical adjustments. The needle on the wing control gauge must be in the unfold or float band when wing control is disengaged. Refer to your tractor operator manual if you are unsure of SCV lever or switch positions and operation. Front to rear adjustment is done before entering the field in order to match the level lift hitch feature on the disc to the tractor drawbar height. Proper initial front to rear leveling will ensure that a full range of adjustment in the field is available. In field operation, the operator will use the front to rear leveling crank or optional motor for final front to rear leveling adjustments. Check that the turnbuckle is pinned in the front hole in the pivot link. If not, follow operator's manual procedures to change the turnbuckle position. Raise the disc to the transport position. The leveling linkage pivot link on the front of the mainframe should be against the stop welded on the mainframe. If not, turn the leveling rod clockwise with the crank or optional hydraulic motor until the pivot link contacts the stop. With the disc in the transport position and the pivot link against the stop, view the disc from the side. Use the adjustment wrench provided with the machine to loosen the lock nut and adjust the turnbuckle until the disc frame is level front to rear when the disc is viewed from the side. Tighten the turnbuckle lock nut. This adjusts the level lift hitch on the disc to the tractor drawbar height. This adjustment should be checked and repeated whenever you change tractors. On folding discs, a bolt-in cross tube connects the mainframe wheel modules to maintain side-to-side leveling. The disc mainframe must be checked to be sure it is level side to side. Raise the disc, then lower it until the blades are just off the ground. Measure from the top of each mainframe axle shaft to the underside of the frame. The dimensions must be equal to within a 1/4 inch. Contact your John Deere dealer for assistance if the disc mainframe is not level side to side, or see your operator's manual for adjustment procedures. The wing frames must be level with the mainframe on folding discs. Folding discs are equipped with rephasing lift cylinders. The first step for any side-to-side leveling on a folding disc is to fully charge or rephase the hydraulic lift cylinders. Raise the disc and hold the SCV lever or switch back for at least 5 seconds after each cylinder has reached the top of its stroke. Lower the disc until the cylinders are fully retracted. Raise the disc again, holding the SCV lever back again for 5 seconds. Repeat these steps 3 times. This will ensure that all lift cylinders and hydraulic hoses are fully charged and rephased. With the disc fully raised, view the disc from the rear and sight across the top of the black disc gang tubes. A straight line should fall across the top of all the gang tubes. If either or both wing gangs are not in line with the mainframe, adjust the eye bolt located at the wing frame depth control cylinder to bring the wing frame gangs into alignment with the mainframe gangs. Rephase the lift cylinders between adjustments. Complete and correct maintenance procedures are necessary to keep your 637 disc in top condition. Before each use, check for loose hardware, excessively worn and damaged blades, loose hoses, and hydraulic leaks. Refer to the owner manual for the type of lubricant, lube intervals, and to identify service points on the disc. Check all hardware and gang bolt torque after the first 8 to 10 hours of operation. Before transporting the 637 disc, confirm that the tractor drawbar is locked in the center rigid position and the safety chain is correctly and securely connected. Raise the disc to its transport position. On rigid discs, install the transport lockup on the lift cylinder. Fold the wings on folding discs, making sure they are resting firmly on the wing fold stops. All folding discs feature a hydraulic transport lockup valve located at the front of the mainframe. Close this valve. If the disc is equipped with optional hydraulic wing control, be sure the SCV2 lever in the tractor is in the neutral position, and close the wing fold lockup valve located just in front and below the hydraulic wing control valve on the disc mainframe. Turn on the transport warning lights and check that the lights are working properly. Use care to observe the rules of the road and be considerate of other drivers who are passing or meeting the machinery. Maintain a safe transport speed to assure full control of the tractor and implement. Be aware of all local and state laws for your area regarding transport of tractors and implements on public roadways. On folding discs equipped with optional hydraulic wing control, open the wing fold lockup valve and unfold the disc. Place the tractor SCV2 lever in the float position. This disengages hydraulic wing control. The wing control gauge needle on the disc should be in the unfold or float band on the gauge. Hydraulic wing control must be disengaged for all initial field adjustments. Never operate a folding disc equipped with hydraulic wing control with the wing fold SCV2 lever in the neutral position. Operation with the hydraulic wing control SCV in neutral locks the wing fold system rigid. Operation of the disc with the system locked rigid may result in wing fold cylinder damage. On John Deere 8000 and 9000 series tractors, a wavy line will appear on the control panel for SCV2, indicating the switch has been pushed into the float position. On tractors such as the John Deere 7000, 8000, and 9000 series, the SCV will default to neutral if the engine is stopped and then restarted. If the SCV number 2 switch on 8000 and 9000 series tractors is in float when the tractor engine is shut off, the wavy line will flash when the tractor is restarted. This is a warning that you need to reset the lever to float. When reset, the wavy line will stop flashing. Open the transport lockup valve or remove the transport lockup on rigid discs. Field adjustments should be performed in the following order: set proper operating speed, set desired working depth, level the disc front to rear, and level the disc side to side. Make a final check to be sure hydraulic wing control, if equipped, is disengaged to avoid false performance observations and incorrect adjustments. Start the first pass through the field. The proper operating speed for the 637 is 4 to 6 miles per hour. 5 to 5.5 miles per hour is usually a good disking speed. Remember, ground speeds exceeding 6 miles per hour may cover more acres, but may result in an uneven soil profile. There is no savings of time or expense when more passes are required later to finish a rough field. Use the tractor's SCV number 1 lever to find the desired working depth. Stop with the disc in the ground. Turn the single-point depth adjustment crank clockwise until the stop depresses the single-point valve plunger. For John Deere 8000 or 9000 series tractors, an optional touch-set depth control feature can be added to the disc. This feature allows the operator to make depth selection and changes on the go from the tractor seat. See your operator's manual and John Deere dealer for more information. The frame gauge wheels are an important part of the disc leveling system. When adjusting operating depth, the depth gauge wheels must remain in contact with the ground to support the disc frame. Running the disc with the gauge wheels completely raised does not actually provide maximum penetration and often results in uneven soil profile results. With the depth set and the disc frame supported by the gauge wheels, operate the disc at a consistent speed in the 4 to 6 mile per hour range for 50 to 100 yards. Stop and observe the soil profile behind the center of the disc. Look for indications of ridging at the center. Also check for a center valley. Any of these irregularities indicate a need to adjust the front to rear leveling of the disc. The next section will demonstrate how the soil profile will change as this adjustment is changed. Before we begin demonstrating disc adjustments, a quick look at how the 637 disc functions and tills the soil will be helpful in understanding how adjustments and operating techniques will affect the machine's performance. Tandem discs are designed so the soil which is moved outward by the front gangs is recovered and moved back by the rear gangs. For level disking results, soil movement must be balanced so the disc moves equal amounts of soil with the front gangs and the rear gangs. Most of the soil moved by the rear gangs has been disked once by the front gangs. The soil is easier to move, so the rear gangs are tapered on the outside rear and include a built-in furrow filler to smooth and feather the soil on the outside for a level profile. As disc gang operating depth increases, the amount of soil moved by the discs increases. Adjusting front to rear leveling changes the operating depth of the front gangs compared to the rear. Changing the operating depths of the gangs changes the balance of soil movement between the front and rear gangs. This makes leveling adjustments both front to rear and side to side of prime importance. For leveling adjustments to have the proper effect, the frame gauge wheels must be supporting the frame to maintain a consistent, desired depth. The disc must be operated at the correct, consistent speed, and the operator must maintain correct overlap between passes. Adjustments to front-to-rear leveling will change the amount of soil moved by the disc blades. Lowering the front gangs will result in more soil being moved outward by the front gangs and less soil moved inward by the rear gangs. Lowering the rear gangs will result in less soil being moved outward by the front gangs and more soil being moved inward by the rear gangs. Your John Deere disc is equipped with a front-to-rear manual leveling crank or an optional hydraulic leveling motor. This crank is used to perform in the field front-to-rear leveling adjustments. Rotate the leveling crank clockwise to raise the front gangs. Rotate the leveling crank counterclockwise to lower the front gangs. Make adjustments in steps, a few crank revolutions at a time. Perform a test run and recheck soil profile. Soil profile behind the disc should be checked whenever changing operating depth, with changes in soil conditions, or as operating speed changes. These factors all affect soil profile, and may require that front-to-rear leveling be rechecked and repeated if necessary. With the disc leveled front to rear in the field, final side-to-side leveling adjustments should be made on folding discs. If possible, have someone stand behind the disc and observe the disc from the rear. Make a test run, maintaining a constant speed and depth. The rear wing frame gang tubes should run generally level with the main frame gang tubes. The wing frames will flex up and down to follow uneven ground contours in the field, but should return to a level position after flexing over the ground contour. If one or both wing gangs appear to consistently run higher or lower than the mainframe gang tube, field adjustment of the wing frames is necessary. Adjust the wing wheel cylinder eye bolt as demonstrated earlier to level the wing gangs to the mainframe gangs, leveling discs side to side. Rephase the hydraulic cylinders between adjustments and make a test run. Adjust as required until the wing frame gang tubes run constantly level with the main frame gang tubes while under power. Evaluation of the soil profile and final adjustments should be done in the same order as initial field adjustments. First, confirm correct operating speed and depth. Then look at the center of the profile to determine if front-to-rear leveling adjustment is required. Finally, check the outside of the soil profile to determine if side-to-side leveling is necessary. A center ridge is due to the rear gangs moving more soil inward than the front gangs moved out. Correct this condition by turning the leveling rod or crank counterclockwise to lower the front gangs. This increases the outward movement of soil at the front gangs and decreases inward soil movement at the rear gangs. Outside ridging may be due to the front gangs moving more soil outward than the rear gangs can recover. Most likely this is the result of the front gangs running too low. The outer ends of the front gangs may be gouging somewhat, pitching soil beyond the reach of the rear gangs. If a center valley accompanies an outside ridge, front-to-rear adjustment is required. Turn the leveling rod clockwise to raise the front gangs in small steps. This will even out the degree of soil movement between the front and rear gangs to achieve a level profile. In extreme cases of incorrect front-to-rear leveling on a folding disc, a severe outside ridge may be accompanied by poor penetration of the center gangs. Careful observation may reveal that the outer front blades are gouging so severely that the inward thrust on the gangs begins to push up on the center frame, lifting the main frame gangs up to a shallower operating depth. Make sure the disc is operating with the frame gauge wheels supporting the disc frame, and adjust front to rear and side-to-side leveling to raise the front gangs and establish even soil penetration and a level profile behind the machine. If outside ridging is observed, while the center profile is level, the wing gangs are running deep, and the outside front discs are gouging, pitching soil beyond the reach of the rear gangs. The remedy is to re-level the disc side to side by adjusting the wing frame eye bolts to raise the wing frame gangs slightly. Rephase the lift cylinders and continue adjusting in small increments until the profile is level. If both outside and center ridging are observed, the most likely cause is excessive ground speed. The outside ridge will be past the reach of the rear gangs. Other variations in profile may develop depending on soil conditions, working depth, and ground speed. Do not compensate for overspeeding by changing adjustments. The profile may change, but uneven results are likely. Slow down. Next, turn around and make a return pass. Your 637 disc includes a built-in furrow filler blade on the outside rear gangs. You may also have an optional bolt-on finishing blade attachment beyond the furrow filler blades. Both of these disc blades are designed to provide good soil finishing results, but neither of these blades are considered part of the working width of your disc. For full depth tillage and best results, the disc operator needs to maintain proper overlap between disking passes. A general guideline for proper overlap is to drive so the furrow filler mark from the last blade on the rear gang runs between the first and second disc blade on the front gang. Overlap with the front gangs to achieve an even, full tillage depth across the width of the machine and a level soil profile behind the machine. Disc approximately 100 yards. Stop and check to confirm a level profile. Increase overlap slightly if an outside ridge is observed. Determine a method of visual marking to maintain correct and consistent overlap. Refer to the troubleshooting section in the 637 Operator's Manual for more specific information to assist the operator in making the correct adjustments based on the soil profile behind the disc. Be sure you are following all the operating guidelines suggested in this video and the Operator's Manual to maximize 637 disc performance. Correct machine hookup, safety, transport, operation, troubleshooting, and maintenance are important to every operator. Review this video and the Operator's Manual information with all other persons who will operate the machine. The 637 tandem disc is designed to be a top performer in a wide variety of tillage practices. With the proper operating and maintenance information found in this video and your Operator's Manual, your 637 will provide years of trouble-free service and top performance. Thanks again for choosing John Deere. In the last section of this video, we'll review in detail proper operation of optional hydraulic wing control on folding discs. If your disc is not equipped with this feature, you may choose to stop viewing this video now. However, if your folding disc is equipped with optional hydraulic wing control, or if you desire more information on this option, continue viewing the video. Hydraulic wing control allows the operator to use tractor hydraulic pressure to better control the disking depth and penetration of the wing gangs on folding discs. If you have not already reviewed operating hydraulic wing control in the Operating the Machine section of the Operator's Manual, stop the video and do so now. Relating the information in the manual to the following video section will make field operation and adjustment easier. Also, make sure this information is reviewed with all individuals who will be operating the disc. Before starting operation, be sure the tractor pulling the disc has a closed center hydraulic system, or John Deere's pressure and flow compensating system. Use of hydraulic wing control on tractors with open center hydraulic systems may result in overheating of the hydraulic system. Hydraulic wing control improves wing gang penetration in very hard soils or heavy residue conditions by applying down pressure to the wing frames. Wing control also helps prevent the wing gangs from gouging in very soft soils by pulling up on the wing frames. The hydraulic wing control valve is mounted on the front of the mainframe. Hydraulic pressure to the wing fold cylinders is controlled by setting the adjustment knob on the wing control valve to obtain the desired results. A pressure relief feature inside the wing control valve allows the wings to flex over obstacles and terraces to prevent damage to the wing fold cylinders. To turn on or engage hydraulic wing control, the wing fold tractor SCV, usually number 2, is placed in the forward detent position. When engaged, a steady, constant hydraulic pressure is applied from the tractor through the wing control valve and then on to the base end of the wing fold cylinders. The valve adjusts the pressure on the rod end of the wing fold cylinders. The base end and rod end pressures are set to balance or offset each other to obtain the desired results from the wing control system. Increasing the rod end pressure over the base end pressure retracts the cylinder rod, pulling up on the wing frames. Lowering the rod end pressure allows the constant force on the base end to extend the cylinder rod, pushing on the wing frames. The hydraulic circuit to either end of the cylinders remains open during use, allowing oil to flow to or from either side of the wingfold cylinders. The wing frames must also be supported by the frame gauge wheels to provide additional control over the wing frame gangs. Hydraulic wing control provides a dampening effect on wing frame movement, in addition to push and pull pressure. Operation of hydraulic wing control relies on the steady flow of oil which is supplied when the tractor SCV is locked in the forward detent position. Never operate the disc with the wingfold tractor SCV in the neutral position. If the tractor SCV were positioned in neutral, the SCV valve would close the hydraulic circuit, locking the wings rigid. Folding discs without optional hydraulic wing control use slotted wingfold cylinder clevises to allow the wing frames to float freely over uneven ground conditions. However, the wingfold cylinders of discs equipped with wing control are pinned solid to the wing frames, so the cylinders can apply both up and down pressure on the wing frames. Operating a disc in the field with the hydraulic wing control SCV in the neutral position locks the wing frames rigid, allowing no up and down flex of the wing frames and the cylinders. For example, should the disc bridge over a low area, forces on the wingfold cylinders could become extreme and may result in damage to the wingfold cylinders. Hydraulic wing control must be disengaged or turned off for all mechanical front-to-rear and side-to-side leveling adjustments. Wing control may affect disc performance, making mechanical adjustments difficult. Hydraulic wing control is turned off or disengaged by operating the disc with the wingfold tractor SCV lever in the float position. When disengaged, the system allows the wing frames to float on the wing gauge wheels, just like a disc not equipped with the option. Our demonstration is shown on a John Deere 8000 series tractor. Carefully review your tractor operator's manual for the correct SCV control positions when using a disc equipped with hydraulic wing control. For this demonstration, we will assume that all mechanical infield adjustments previously demonstrated have been completed. With the tractor engine running, select SCV number 2 on the control panel. Set the time to continuous by turning the control knob fully clockwise until the letter C appears on the panel. Set the flow to rabbit by turning the flow control knob fully clockwise. Place SCV2 in the forward detent position by pushing the switch forward to the click, then releasing. Flow bars should appear all the way across the control panel for SCV2. We now have hydraulic flow from the tractor through the hydraulic wing control valve, applying pressure to the wingfold cylinders. Remember, SCVs on John Deere 7000, 8000, and 9000 series tractors will default to neutral if the engine is stopped, then restarted. Be sure to reset the tractor SCV to the desired position when the tractor is restarted. The tractor must be running to adjust hydraulic wing control. Be sure the transmission is in park, or the parking brake is set before leaving the tractor seat, or before anyone on the ground attempts to adjust the implement. With the tractor running, and with tractor SCV number 2 in the forward detent position, loosen the locking collar below the adjustment knob on the hydraulic wing control valve. Turn the hydraulic wing control valve knob clockwise. The gauge needle should move into the pull wings area on the gauge. Turn the knob counterclockwise, and the needle on the gauge should move into the area labeled push wings. As an initial setting before going to the field, adjust the knob on the valve so the gauge needle is positioned in the black band between push wings and pull wings. Set the locking collar underneath the adjustment knob. The system is now balanced. Hydraulic pressure is applying some dampening to wing frame movement, however it is not forcing the wing frames in either direction. In situations where the outside front blades are gouging, use hydraulic wing control to apply slight upward force on the wing only if uneven terrain or very soft soil conditions are preventing the depth wing frame gauge wheels from controlling wing penetration. Do not use hydraulic wing control to compensate for misadjustment of disc leveling. To apply upward force on the wing frames, turn the adjustment knob on the valve clockwise until the gauge indicator needle moves to the pull wings area on the gauge. Make small incremental adjustments until desired performance is achieved. To maintain the setting, lock the locking collar under the adjustment knob. If the wing gangs are not penetrating evenly with the mainframe gangs, first confirm that the wings are properly leveled to the mainframe. If high surface residue or very hard soil conditions are preventing wing gang penetration, use wing down pressure to apply force to the wing frames to achieve even working depth across the entire width of the machine. To make this adjustment, turn the adjustment knob on the valve counterclockwise until the gauge indicator needle moves to the push wings area on the gauge. Make small incremental adjustments until desired performance is achieved. Lock the locking collar under the adjustment knob to maintain the adjustment. The hydraulic wing control option should be viewed as a fine-tuning adjustment to adjust the disc to specific operating conditions. It's not intended to make up for incorrect mechanical leveling adjustments, operating speed, or operating techniques. Remember, do all initial mechanical disc adjustments and begin all field operation with the tractor SCV number 2 in the float position. With the tractor SCV in this position, hydraulic wing control is disengaged or turned off. Disc operators using hydraulic wing control must follow special operating instructions, particularly at the following times. When connecting the wing fold hoses to the tractor, wing frames must unfold when the tractor SCV lever is pushed forward and fold when the tractor SCV is pulled back. When preparing the disc for initial adjustments, before going to the field, the wing fold tractor SCV must be in the float position to turn off hydraulic wing control for initial mechanical adjustments. When transporting or parking the disc, fold the disc and be sure to secure the wing frames by placing the tractor SCV lever in the neutral position and close the wing fold cylinder lockup valve. When performing initial in-field adjustments, disengage or turn off hydraulic wing control by placing the wing fold SCV lever in the float position. And while using hydraulic wing control in normal disking operation, if the disc is performing satisfactorily, leave the SCV lever in the float position and continue disking. Operating with hydraulic wing control turned off will cause no problems. Turn on or engage hydraulic wing control by placing the wing fold tractor SCV in the forward detent position. Never operate a disc with hydraulic wing control with the tractor wing fold SCV in neutral. Cylinder damage could result. Whenever restarting the engine, reset the SCV position before resuming operation. Following the steps and instructions demonstrated in this video, and carefully reviewing the operator's manual, will make hydraulic wing control an easy-to-use and productive option on your John Deere Model 637 disc.